The Apocalypse players present Saturnine Chalice, a Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario, written by Matt Sanderson. With Joseph Chance as Zachary J. Crumb, illicit distiller. Danann McAleer as Remy Knuckles LeBlanc, serial killer. Dan Wheeler as Clarence Ulysses Barnard or Cub, Louisiana confidence trickster. And Dominic Allen as the keeper of arcane lore. We find our intrepid criminals on the upstairs landing, where Mr. Barnard begins to realize he may not be talking to himself after all.
Cubby, come out now. Cubby, 2 cubbies are better than 1, you know what they say? So come out now, and I believe between the 2 of us, we can make an end to this.
A long grey claw emerges round the door and starts to push the door further open.
Cubby? Clarence?
The door suddenly flies open back on its hinges, and levitating is the figure of this dead woman with lank hair over her face, who you saw in the cupboard downstairs.
3 shots. Bang, bang, bang.
She levitates out of the WC towards you. Yeah, let's have the shots then.
My gun is... I'd like to make it clear, I did say that my gun was out before this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has he seen the woman before?
Me, yeah. I saw her in the closet when I'm avoiding the rat
Oh
sleep.
shit! Yes, you did, didn't you? Sorry.
So what is it? So it's 3. So I'm firing 3 shots. So is it a penalty die on each, or am I close enough to cancel it out?
I think you're close enough to cancel them out.
Well, that's a swing and a miss. That's a... Can I spend luck in combat?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spend some luck on that second shot. 7 points of luck.
Could he see what the next shot is like before he makes that decision?
Yeah.
And the next shot is another miss. And I might spend some more luck again.
Oh my god!
This is a lot of luck, but
I mean, we don't know if it hurts them. As my little D&D hat goes on here and goes, really? I mean, Cubby's got a chance of getting out of this because he's got the gift of the gab, and we're going to need that for some stage of the next hour. I feel like...
Okay, all right.
I feel like hit her with 1 and see if something happens.
Yeah, okay, good point. Okay, so that's just 1 hit.
The least luck
Regular.
that you have to spend.
It wasn't that much. It was 7 points. It was the luck that I didn't spend on my spot hidden roll.
Give me the damage roll.
Okay. 4.
Let's see, Zachary, you're who's next in the dex order? Oh, in fact, I've got it here. Yeah, Zachary's next in the dex order. Do you want to do anything?
Would you say that I am capable of action?
Yeah, you're not having a bout of madness.
Yeah,
laughter was just like an involuntary.
That sort of involuntary action is over. Well, Cubby is massive, right? So I think all I can see is... But the horror is she's levitating, so I can see her. And the confirmation that she's there, and I've seen her before, right? It's the same woman? Effectively. I mean, obviously, I didn't get a good look, but the hands I did see, and the hair I did see, didn't I? Monster in the Well is here.
I mean, it's probably another sanity roll, unfortunately.
I hate to say it from my character, but the fact that she was in the well and I shot her and now she's here in the fucking bathroom, I think that is a sanity roll. So it's not about the horror of the thing that it's real, it's the thing is real and seems to be able to, a bit like Rosemary, it's just suddenly there. So yeah, I buy it. Now, remarkably, I've passed my sanity by 1. 43, I've rolled at 42.
The fight or flight mechanism is sort of protecting your mind to some degree here, and just the adrenaline sees you through, so you don't lose any sanity. But is there anything you want to do?
I think the shot's too tight. I'd argue. Like Cubby's massive, right? How tall is he?
he's big in every sense.
Yeah, he's
In
Every way that
in
matters.
every sense. In every sense.
his
So
size is 85, so I think he's about 6'4" and like really wide. I think he probably weighs about 20 stone.
I think I'm terrified, and I think I run into the nearest doorway, which I'm imagining is the one into the oratory. Although I don't know, unless you'd say that I was past that, because I did stagger back and kind of crawl back on my elbows. So I'll take your choice as to whichever the nearest doorway is.
Yeah, it could be the oratory or the chamber or the bedroom.
I think I'm not going to go back into the bedroom because I feel like it's exitless. So I saw Remy. Actually, Remy's useful, so I'm going to follow Remy. I'm going to pelt into that room and go. Clarence, get in here, Clarence! And I run into that room.
Okay. Into the oratory.
Yeah.
All right. Knuckles, do you want to do anything?
Well, I've been in the oratory this whole time, right? Mm-hmm. Unless I've seen anything specific other than this hovering woman come out towards...
Were you looking through the open door? Is that what you were doing?
Well, not really. I was just sort of hiding behind the door in case someone came out of the lavatory. So all I'm hearing is the reactions of the others.
Fine.
But there's also a part of me that's looking around the room basically to see if there's any bigger weapons I can pick up.
There's a very long, sharp stick that the woman's impaled on.
Yeah.
Certainly looks effective.
Wooden pike-like stick.
Yeah, it's basically it's made from some sort of wood.
Great.
And it's about as long as a human arm.
Yeah. Oh, so not that long.
Not insanely long, but like it's from shoulder to fingertip. It's
So was she impaled but sat on the floor?
Is
it out her mouth or out her collarbone, or is it out her?
It was sticking through her rib cage and then sticking out of her back. So
right.
she's sort of fallen on it.
And I don't. To be clear, do I recognise the woman now? I may not have done earlier, but do I recognise her?
No, you did earlier as well.
It was the same woman.
Oh, it is.
It's the same woman that you've already killed.
It's Veronica.
Just checking. It is Veronica.
Daughter, yeah.
Okay, lovely. In which case, and is this room full of the same sand as the doors that are open to the next room? Was it
only
just
what's
spilling
blown
through the doors?
through.
Right, so not a huge amount. In which case, if the rest of the room is barren, I take the opportunity I have before Zachary runs in to run forwards and just shoulder into the woman and the spike and try and snap it off the floor by just bodying it.
Oh, it's not attached to the floor. It's she was simply balanced on it. It was like balanced upright. In fact, as you push her over, you see that she was holding on to it.
Oh.
So it's like she's committed
suicide on a wooden pole.
She doesn't react. The body doesn't move or react as I sort of tip it over.
She's dead.
Great.
She's definitely dead.
In which case, I put my foot
Stop
on
checking if she's dead. What do you want?
I'm just, you got to be careful. But I put my foot on her and I slide the spike out. Mm-hmm. And I sort of tuck it under my arm, sort of have it as a sort of, not quite javelin, but as a sort of spear, I guess. And I move back towards the door, possibly just before Zachary bursts through, if that is where he's coming.
And impales himself on the...
Yeah, well, quite.
Luck roll. He loves an improvised weapon, doesn't he? Danann McAleer.
Doesn't he just?
Get yourself a 32, mate.
You're happy with that passage of time, are you, Dominic?
Well, if he's not... yeah, I think so, because that also covers the time that, the thing was floating out the door. So at that moment, you burst in, and Zachary, you're confronted with a room that's dominated by an altar over which is suspended this sort of lamp. It's possibly Eastern, but maybe not. And Knuckles, who stood there holding a long wooden stick, and there is the dead body of Veronica on the floor.
Given my high dexterity and my dash in, is there a chance that I sort of saw the end of the stick coming out, or are they totally divorced of each other? Is that I can see this sharp stick and I can see a dead woman on the floor?
Let's say that you see it getting pulled out.
You see me.
That sort of last action was still there. So I get the sensation that he's possibly just killed someone.
Oh, possibly.
Because I see a body. And obviously the woman is at a certain distance, although desiccated, as I understand. as a player, as Zachary, I don't know anything. I can see this woman's body dropping.
She's not that desiccated.
No.
So from a distance,
So
she might look fresh.
that helps even less. Good. So I get the impression that he's just come in and stabbed Veronica to death.
Okay.
Awesome. My gun's out, and I freeze as I see him there, and I guess that's the end of that round. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the apparition, this woman that is levitating towards you, Cub. Let's see.
I could have climbed on the banister in true Apocalypse player style. Why didn't I think of that? I could have climbed on the banister and shot round you and then fallen off the banister.
Everything's easier in retrospect, you know.
Yeah.
Salacious Crumb does a Taken 4 montage where it just,
Cub, you see the light come out of her eyes again, and her mouth, and this beam just sort of comes towards you. Can you give me a power roll?
Oh no, fucking hell. I've forgotten that's what she did. Yeah, that's a hard success.
Hard success.
God, of course she does this, doesn't she? Crap.
She sucks memory.
She sucks memories.
Intelligence. And intelligence. I lost loads of intelligence.
What is your power?
60. I've just remembered also I should have been using a penalty
You get a
die
penalty die on that roll.
on any mental rolls, but
Does that not include power?
I don't know what a mental roll like
these have all been mental rolls.
intelligence, education.
It's any mental skill roll, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
So it's anything like
We haven't used any of them.
history or...
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to need a very light touch in order to be able to survive this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, all of our characters are quite light touch.
You get the feeling that you feel this sort of... You feel a bit woozy, and you feel like the world around you suddenly becomes a bit thin. But you push back, and slowly the light dies away, and you get that kind of like retina burn where you can't really see properly for a moment, and by the time it clears, she's gone.
Fucking hell.
Who the hell's that? I say, failing to keep my voice quiet.
We're serving dinner now.
I spin round with my gun up at the sound of that, and my hand goes to my pockets, and I realise I've lost my cogs and my importantly one of my screwdrivers, and I start to look on the floor, and I dash back out to the landing.
There's no sign of them.
I throw the bathroom door open to see whether it looks like I could maybe climb out the window of the bathroom.
Okay, so you open the bathroom door and you walk to the window only to discover that the entire window is bricks.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. But
Which is a sanity roll.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Cubby did not know you were going to say that.
Guys,
That's what they changed.
That's a success on my sanity.
You don't lose any sanity.
I am mentally resilient.
Soon you'll just be mental.
Our way of putting it.
I think I turn. I'm on my hands and knees in the hallway, and I turn to what I can see of Remy Nichols LeBlanc, and I say, "I got to go back to the bedroom, Remy. I got to go back to the bedroom," and I just crawl away towards the bedroom.
But I think before you do, I back out of the bathroom and topple backward.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, no, I was never going to get to the bedroom in time, so that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Yeah.
Land in a fleshy
So
pile.
I think Remy sees me leave the doorway, you going backwards, and then just hears the cacophony.
And I just look to the camera and say, wah, wah, wah. Yeah.
And then your head explodes. And as you look up on your backs there, you see the face of Augustus Wayland looking down at you with his big beard, and he says, "Gentlemen, is everything all right? We're expecting you at dinner."
I lift my revolver. I pull the trigger 3 times, forgetting that I haven't reloaded it, and it just goes click, click, click.
Oh no, that was exciting.
And I instantly say,
Apologies.
"Oh, a little, an old joke. Joke we used to practice back in Jackson, Mississippi. Never load your gun. Pretend to fire off 3 shots at the host, and it breaks the ice. We'd love to join you for dinner.
Christ alive.
It breaks the ice.
Can you roll some kind of persuade or charm?
Yeah,
To see
sure.
whether that works. Oh, but with a penalty die, right?
If you like.
Do I have to have a penalty die?
Oh
on
no,
my
that's a
fast
social.
talk roll?
That's a social.
It's not mental, is it? I'll roll my fast talk. Yes, it's a success.
That is genius.
Very good. He laughs uproariously
Of course he does.
That's even worse.
and slaps his flanks, and he says, "Well, let's not waste a moment more. Mrs. Linwood's cooking is very good." And he goes down the stairs.
I left my I left my crucifix in this room, and I look obsessed and wild about going back into the bedroom. But I think I've paused. I think it's given me a brief moment of respite. But I've got the sweats on and I've gone pale. My hands are twitching.
Are you coming back into the room I'm in?
No, I'm pointing to the bedroom, which is behind me. So I'm imagining I'm back at the end of basically by the top of the stairs.
I say, gentlemen, I do not believe we can avoid the inevitable any longer. I feel we must submit ourselves to Mrs. Linwood's rat soup. I might suggest you
Fill up on
take
bread.
small spoonfuls, season it well, focus on the bread.
Well,
Perhaps they have fine wine.
there's a little surprise for us there. Mr. Cubby, he wants to go and munch on those lettuces. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. What my thinking is... I'm calling you a slug, to be clear. But I wasn't going to say it that overtly. But basically what I want to do is the fact I've shifted this woman off this spike. But it's the same woman I've seen replicated at least twice, right? It's well, I can't quite work out what's going on. But I want to say, now listen, this seems like a point of interest. I'm from Louisiana. I'm from New Orleans. I know all about these voodoo dolls, these pins you put in dolls of people to get a certain effect or some other or something like that. Now, this seems to me like a giant game of that sort of muck around. Now, if we can destroy the doll, we can destroy the effect. And this body's the doll. And I'm sure the woman herself would not begrudge us the uncursing of her soul. So, does any of you have a box of matches or anything that could be flammable? I think we need to destroy this body here as soon as possible.
So now Book 3 of the Merlin says that the summonings and bindings of demons from hell requires... You need to have the other two books. We need these squares with magic words and each with powers. In the oratory, are there squares on the floor? Did I see that?
No, but you could give me an intelligence roll.
It's just I'm just trying to think of whether what he said holds true to what I understand and with my memory of the Abramelin.
I'm doing an entirely character-based guess, and it may be entirely wrong.
Intelligence. Did you say intelligence? Well, that is lucky because I've rolled 63 on a 70, which is probably one of the it's one of the few things I could have done.
In fact, this is more of an idea roll, really, but which is intelligence anyway. It occurs to you that if they've both done or are planning to do the Abramelin operation, that you're right about the books. You would need the books, which means they've got the books somewhere.
Yeah, and we haven't seen them yet.
Well, you have seen some books. They're on the desk in the bedroom.
Well, that's what I was really interested in going to the bedroom anyway to get.
Yeah.
I think his inspirational speech, Remy's speech, has focused my mind, but then my hand twitches again, and I do think, well, we did see that book, didn't we? And I say, just buy me 1 second. Buy me 1 second. And I dash back towards the bedroom.
May I say something to Knuckles in response to what he said about this voodoo stuff?
Yeah.
So I say, I know a little bit about voodoo myself, being from Mississippi, and I can tell you it is an illusion, a trick. But more important than that, Mr. LeBlanc, is that if you wish to light an uncontrolled blaze in a timber-framed house when all the windows and doors have been bricked up, you may do so, but not when I am inside. And I brandish my Zippo, and I put it inside my pocket, and I start marching down the hall and down the stairs.
Wow.
Which I think basically means that my buy me 1 minute is to Remy desperately as I see the broad, comforting, almost maternal expanse of Clarence Ulysses Barnard descending back down.
Would there be a sort of a persuade or any sort of role like that in that action, or
In my action,
yeah, or am I just to decide what my character thinks about that?
I mean, you've asked me if I've got a light. I've told you I've got a light, and that I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Cool.
do I think I'm... It didn't feel like I was trying to persuade you to do anything. I'm just having a strop.
No, that's fair. I just thought if you wanted an influence over how I act next, that's fine.
I mean, I felt from Dan's performance alone, that was a bid player to player to say, "Don't burn the house down with me in it."
If you're persuaded, then obviously feel free to be persuaded. But if not, don't worry about it.
But I'm sensing that Danann would be persuaded by a mechanic. So I think in my pleading, just buy me 1 minute, I'm desperately trying to... I'm desperately trying to engender our connected history in those few words.
Okay.
So I'll roll my charm spell. Oh no, different game. Shit. There is no mechanic that can help me in Call of Cthulhu. I think I turn around and I run to the... I'm basically by the door. I go into the bedroom door, but I leave the door open. I open it and I've got my gun up, and I just, if it's clear, I'm going to head to the desk, and I want him to see me doing it. Maybe I even cast a look over my shoulder to check to see if Remy's watching.
Well, what you probably see is me shouldering the body onto my shoulder and following you slowly.
You had the body with you the whole time?
Well, unless I'm mistaken.
I thought you had the stick.
Oh, I've got the stick, but
You were dragging her as well.
Body's on the floor.
He's saying he's just picked her up.
yeah,
He's gone and gone. Okay.
I've got the stick under one arm, and I've got the body in a fireman's lift. And I
Nice,
sort of
okay.
follow you towards the bedroom.
Yeah, so I'm a sweaty mess. Are there clocks in this room, or mechanical alarm clocks, or
There is a clock in this room.
Just to be clear, the bedroom's where I saw the fucking horrifying figure come out of the chimney.
Yes, correct.
So I think I might actually whisper as you enter the door, unless it's too late. I might say,
I'm probably a few feet into the room.
"Not in there! Not in there! The chimney!"
I look at the chimney. Can I see anything?
No. But there is a brass carriage clock in here. But it's stopped.
Interesting. What time's it stopped at?
5 a.m. Well, 5. Could be p.m.
It's not a Casio calculator.
Is there any chance that in the previous clock that I looked at, flashback, the previous clock that I was gutting, I wouldn't have noticed the time. I almost asked you and then I forgot.
What do you think you're playing? Blades in the Dark?
It wasn't 5 o'clock.
No, it wasn't 5 o'clock.
Would you like to give me a spot hidden in this room? You both can, actually.
I'm not going back in the room, to be clear,
Oh, fine.
because I saw what the fuck came out of the chimney.
Are you looking through the door?
I'm maybe a few feet away from the door, trying to be like, come back, with this body over my shoulder.
1 minute. 36. It's not quite, it's not a hard success. 6 away from a hard success.
A regular success. That's more than enough. You notice there is something under the bed. And as you sort of look, you see that there are boxes, small boxes under the bed.
Oh, God.
5 of them.
Okay, so I clock that. I've clocked the clock. And then I head to the desk, desperate to see if there's any sort of information, like a diary or a book that was out that sort of suggests something to do with the Abramelin.
Like I say, there's a tear-off calendar, and there are 7 books
Holy crap.
on the back
All lined up.
edge of the desk, lined up. As you look across their spines, you see that one is the Torah, which is actually kept in scroll form in an upright silver case. That's the first thing. Then there's the King James Bible, large and leather-bound with metal clasps. There is the Quran, again leather-bound in gold leaf. There is the Book of the Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage, which is red cloth-bound hardback. There is Das Buch Abramelin, another bound book. Then there are two other books with no name. One is a thick octavo leather-bound book, and the other is a slender buckram-bound book.
So the first Abramelin and the second Abramelin, they're not numbered, are they?
No.
No. Why would it be that helpful? So the two that I don't know, I'm going to look at the first one, but really fast.
The one with no name on the spine.
Yeah, the first of the two, the thicker one of the two.
Yeah. When you open it, you see that it's in English and it's written in this sort of neat copperplate handwriting. It's clearly a journal, and it depends how long you want to spend reading it.
I don't really want to spend... I literally want to open it, look at something. Is it a woman's hand? Could I maybe try a library use roll or an education roll? Or
an education roll would probably do.
That's a 0.5.
You're fairly confident this is a male.
Okay, so it's not...
This is a very masculine handwriting.
It's not Veronica's. It could be Augustus's. Okay, I'll grab that one. Mm-hmm. And do you know what? I'm nervous. So I'm going to grab the other one that I don't know what it is. The Abramelin, I don't know what I'm looking for in that, but I know the basics of it because I've passed that occult test already, and I'm scared witless. So I grab them, and I shove them in my jacket, hold it under my arm, in the classic clutch, rush over to the clock.
Sorry, just to clarify, you've got the two books at the end. One is this journal.
The two unnamed books, yeah. I haven't even looked at the second one.
So you haven't picked up any of the books?
Nope.
Fine.
It's crazy.
You rush over.
But I want to get down to dinner.
Sure.
I rush over to the clock, which I desperately want to get my hands on, and I just smash the clock on the floor.
Fine.
And then I grab a few of the precious items, and I put one of the big bits in my mouth, and I put the other one in my pocket.
Right up your...
Yeah, exactly. Not quite yet.
I carried a clock in my ass.
This clock, Daddy's clock. I've got to work on that. And then I'm if it's all right with you, I'm going to run back towards Remy, who I should imagine is not there anymore. He's probably walking downstairs.
I've done something else.
Over to you guys.
Well, So, Cubby, you've gone straight downstairs during that time. When you get downstairs, the dining room door is open at the end of the hall, and there's sort of commotion within. Candle light is spilling out, you get to the bottom of the stairs, and Augustus's head appears in the doorway. He says, come on in. We've got you a seat right here.
And I follow him in, and I say, please forgive my tardiness to the table. It's not my usual form to arrive so late to a dinner party. I'm most grateful for you making me and my associates so welcome here this evening unannounced. And I would like to attempt something that I don't know whether you're going to permit or not. I would like to try to use my charm on myself to inoculate myself against weird things, against any more sanity rolls. I know that I'm going to go into this room and be surrounded by like 24, what's his name?
Lester Goodman.
Lester Goodman's. And I would like to wrap myself up so entirely in the performance of being a charming southern raconteur that I don't focus on the fact that everyone around the table looks exactly the same.
Well, you know what? I don't need you to roll for that because you've already done a sanity roll for seeing them.
Yeah.
So I think you brace yourself mentally for what you're about to experience. And sure enough, as soon as you step through the door, all the Lester Goodmans turn and they say, "Oh, hi!"
Hi.
And I say, Clarence Ulysses Bernard, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintances. I look forward to hearing all your personal stories. I'm sure you have a wide variety of tales to tell me.
And one of them says, we sure do. Lester here was just telling me how he's an antiques dealer. Isn't that right, Lester? And he says, yes, Lester. And this Lester works in the antiques dealing trade. That's right. How about you, Lester? And he says, oh, I'm antiques myself as well. What about you, Clarence?
Fuck.
Well, I have performed many roles in my long, storied life, but these days I like to think of myself as a raconteur, an entertainer of sorts. How about I entertain you with a little card trick? And I take a pack of cards out of my pocket. And I say...
They all look thrilled at this.
And I say, we'll start with something terribly simple. Follow the lady. And I just lay three
They all
cards.
go,
Lay three cards on the table and start moving them around. And I'm absolutely got no game plan whatsoever. It's stalling. But that's what I do. And I start moving the cards around. And I say, and I show them the cards, and one is the queen, and I start doing follow the lady, basically.
They're all super impressed. Rapturous applause, which Zachary and Remy, you can hear upstairs. You suddenly hear the, whoa! From underneath you somewhere.
If it's fair to say that I'm sort of there, I'm not going into the bedroom because I've seen what's in the fucking bedroom. I imagine it's other places as well. And I sort of turn around and I don't want to there's no reason to go back in the oratory or the chamber, but there was something in the toilet, right? And I know that there is is it a cupola? Or how do you say it? A cupola? I know there's another level to this house, basically. And I've got this body that I have this instinct, and it's not based on any role I've asked you for. It's just based on my knowledge of Louisiana sort of pseudo voodoo practices. But I think that's what he's thinking in this moment. And
Bear in mind, of course, that we're in Massachusetts.
Oh, absolutely. I don't mean as in he'll come up the top and he'll be like, oh, we're in Louisiana. But it's
Remy's crazy.
I kind of feel like he
Just a different kind of
is.
crazy.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I want to go into the bathroom and see if there's a way up to higher, because I haven't seen it in any of the other rooms I've been in.
Yeah, well, when you go into the bathroom, it's a bit wet in here, but
Cubby.
there is an enclosed staircase that leads up.
Yeah, I want to go up there.
And it opens out into this room with a tall-backed wooden chair and nothing else, staring at what should be a window, but it's completely bricked up all the way around.
So there's no windows?
There's space where there clearly should be windows all the way around, but they're fully bricked up.
Oh.
Can you give me a spot hidden roll?
Yeah, oh please.
And I'm looking for an extreme success in this empty room.
Almost certainly not. That's a 58 on my 60, so just a success. Nowhere near an extreme.
You're stood in this empty, bare room.
Yeah.
With only one entrance and exit, which is the stairs. And you suddenly get this horrible feeling like you're not alone in here. But as you look around, you see nothing.
But there's the rocking chair.
Yeah, there's this tall backed wooden chair.
There's no entrance at all. It's basically just a bricked up top room.
Yeah.
I dump the body unceremoniously next to me. And I go around and just sort of, with the heel of my hand, I just push around the top. Just give it, like, I'm not punching so hard with the heel that it'd be like, I just want to feel if this brickwork is like recent, if it's like wet cement, or if there's some trick going on here, or if it's just...
It's been there for a while. You guess it's rock hard.
Fuck's sake. Okay, well, there's nothing else I can do. So, I mean, this is over the length of my turn anyway, but as I'm up there, I think what I'm going to do is just sit, pick up the body again, sit it in the chair, and turn it to face the nearest corner. And, which I assume I'll regret in a Blair Witch-like ending moment. But I know that's what I do, and I go back down the the stairs out of the fucking teacups.
So Zachary's in Smash the Clock.
Yeah. I've smashed the clock, and I'm scooping up the innards, and it's making me feel a lot calmer and like I'm on top of things, and just to know that they're there, because I lost that stuff, didn't I? So, and then I'm dashing back to see that Remy's gone. I don't think I even know that he's in the bathroom, do I?
Maybe not.
I mean, I was looking at books, and that was my back was turned, and so then I think I hiss, Remy, I'm going down. So you might want to, I don't know, maybe that's something that he hears, or I don't know. You're cool, Dom, but
Yeah, do a listen roll.
57 on my 55 listen. Can I push it?
Yeah.
I'm sort of. I think I've dumped the body upstairs, and I'm coming down the enclosed sort of steps, and I'm just aware of the scuffing sound of my voice. And just before I get to the bottom, I think I hear something, and I'm like, I need to just stop all the noise around me. So I sort of, almost like the girl from The Ring, grabbing the edges of the TV and pushing her head through the screen. I sort of, at the bottom of the enclosed stairs, you would see my hands going around, and this sort of lank black hair, this face poking itself into the bathroom. I'm just craning to get a sort of a view, and I'm going to push that listen roll.
How scary you look.
Should I roll a luck check to see whether I can see that from the side? Because if I can, there's a chance I might think it's her.
Just rolled an 86 on my 55 listen. So
I don't think I do. I don't think I do. Let's not hurt ourselves any more than we're already going to die.
I push my head out like some sort of like a Sadako from The Ring, but I hear nothing. Or maybe I do hear something.
Seeing as you failed a push roll,
you
can't quite hear what Zachary's saying. But then suddenly, right behind you, you hear a voice. And the voice says, it's a woman's voice. And she says, "You'll never get out of here. You'll never escape."
Now, to be clear, does this sound like a voice in my head, or does it literally feel like someone's whispering this from just behind me?
The latter.
Is it fair to say that my reaction would be to bolt forwards and throw myself against the wall and turn?
Sure.
To face whatever it is?
And there's nothing there. So could you give me a sanity roll?
Yes, please. I would love to.
Disgusting.
I got a 10. So actually, do I still lose one, or?
No.
That's reassuring, because I'm almost insane. But I think in that moment I'm heaving against the door, and I say, what did you say? Why did you say? Talk to me again. Talk to me again.
And the voice says, "I said you'll never escape." And then the door of the enclosed stairs just bang shuts.
I'm going down, Remy. I'm going down.
I hear. Do I hear that? I assume. Yeah. I open the door and I say, "Yeah. Bear with me, Zach. I'll be there 2 seconds." And I move over to the keyhole of that door, and I say, "Who are you? Who are you?"
The handle starts to turn again.
Yeah. I grip the chisel in my pocket.
The door flies open, and all you get a chance to see really is this white light, as if from two eyes, staring at you at the darkness.
Oh, fuck.
And a memory-eating tongue latches on to your nostrils.
A fucking dubstep drop. Just weep. Christ.
Can you give me a Constitution roll? something?
Oh, I'd love to. My constitution's very high as well. That's a 46 on an 80 constitution.
Okay, fine.
He's pretty steel-stomached.
I'm glad that wasn't me rolling that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me.
Not so good.
You feel this pain travel through your body, but you think you can still move. So what do you do?
Fuck. So to be clear, I've gone up to the keyhole, I've whispered, "Who are you?" or something to that effect. And I've had this response back, and suddenly I feel like, what is it? Did you say like needle pricks all over my body, or like some sort of like weird...
No, it's like an intense pain
An intense pain all over my body.
traveling down through your body, yeah.
And do I get the impression it's coming from the direction I was talking?
Oh yeah, the door flew open, and there's these like white lights.
So can I still see that figure? It hasn't slammed shut.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
The door's opened again.
Oh fuck. Oh, I think I have to escape then. I have to escape. I thought that was a momentary thing, but if this figure is there with its bright eyes shining and all I can feel is pain, I have to try and scramble for the door. I have to try and get towards the top of the staircase, back towards where Zachary was going. I mean, fuck whatever the fuck this is. It's not the body I left up there, and there was nothing up there before.
Yeah, so I think this probably another sanity roll, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
I'd say so.
it does mean you do manage to escape.
Okay, for now. That's a 47. I mean, my sanity's a 75, so...
Yes, you lose 1 point of sanity.
Cool. So, I've lost 11.
And you flee.
Great.
Flee out of its gaze.
Just away from its fucking those eyes, that noise, those pale shining eyes, that weirdness. I can't even. I think as I stumble towards Zachary, I can't even really reckon. Everything's so sort of vague. All I remember is we're in this house. We need to get out of this house. You know, operating on a very primal level at this stage.
Have you managed to keep the body with you, or are you?
No, I left it upstairs. I left it in the chair and I turned it to face the wall.
So, do the two of you go downstairs?
I
Zachary,
imagine
you see me barreling towards you, wild-eyed, and sort of stopping at your feet maybe and just out of breath.
you were away a long time. I think all of that, or the split-second stuff has been involved, but I think I'm down the bottom of the stairs, and maybe I turn to see you barreling down the stairs. But I think I'm drinking in a part of... I've got that beautiful moment of almost satisfying calm to see something that I love to see, which is Cubby at work. And he's doing...
And, oh boy, I mean...
He's pouring it on. He's pouring it on.
As you walk into the room, the Lester Goodmans are all saying one in sort of canon. They're saying, no, you got to show us how you did it. Tell us how you did it. How did you do it? How did you manage to get her over there? She was definitely here.
By this point, though, I'm juggling with cutlery and saying, well, you know what they say, a magician never reveals his secrets. And I'm juggling with cutlery and letting every now and again letting a piece of lovely silver cutlery slip into one of my pockets just to see if I've still got it.
Still got
One
it.
of the Lester Goodman says, it doesn't make sense. He must have a whole deck of queens. A whole deck of queens. To which they all say, but that's impossible.
And then I say, did I ever tell you that I also happen to be a playwright? Writing a radio play right now, still juggling with cutlery, about 3 fellas who escaped from a prison.
Oh, God.
One faked a heart attack, and he distracted a couple of the guards. He was a fine performer, while the other one created a distraction technique using small pieces of machinery. He constructed an explosive device which went off in the exercise yard. The third of them was a seasoned assassin. He took down 2 more guards, and they escaped through the fence, the hole that had been blown by the explosive device. What do you think, gentlemen? Will it make a good story? Maybe it will be a moving picture.
One of the Lester Goodmans, and only one of them, just says, that sounds very far-fetched.
I would like to spot hidden to see if there's anything different about this Lester Goodman.
or a psychology? Yeah, spot hidden. Yeah.
So I am specifically trying to see whether any of the Lester Goodmans look like maybe the master Lester Goodman.
Lester Goodman.
He's caught my eye. That's a hard roll on my spot hidden.
Especially with Remy's speech still ringing in our ears. I think that's a great call.
That's a hard roll, or I could make it an extreme if you think I might be able to achieve anything with an extreme spot hidden on these Lester Goodmans.
No, he looks exactly like all the others.
It's got my clutching at straws. Good idea, though.
Anyway, I just say, we have a cynic in our midst. And I finish juggling with the cutlery, continue with my tale about the prisoners, and slip my hand in my pocket and try to reload my 32 with one hand while gesticulating wildly with the other, saying, these three breakouts, they are fine, gentlemen. They are imprisoned under some false pretenses. Do not be alarmed. I would not write this story about common thieves. These are poor people who are desperate to come back to their families, and they find a getaway car and they escape. And I'm. Would you like me to do a sleight of hand to see whether I can reload my gun?
Sure.
It's something I'm actually good at, so I might as well have a go at it. Ooh, by 2 points, I managed to reload my 32 in my pocket, and my hand is on.
Reload your gun in your pocket. Is it fair to say that Zachary Crumb has entered the dining room?
I think I'm just drinking this in. All I see is a man performing his heart out.
It's an extraordinary display.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, once you're there, what does Remy do? He's coming down the stairs as well, or is he?
I look at Remy in horror.
I've probably reached the top of the stairs as Zachary reaches the bottom of the stairs. It's fair to say maybe he has a few moments at the bottom of the stairs before I really stumble to a halt at the top, and I can see the bedroom's closed. Right, the bedroom door's closed, or at least
I just left it open.
He left it open.
Well, I'm looking in there.
So
I have a moment at the top of the stairs where I'm just sort of looking, like peeking through the doors, making sure there's no one there. Mm-hmm. And then I imagine, do I hear their voices from downstairs? Maybe I don't run straight down the stairs. Maybe I hear this sort of, this muttering of sort of, these sort of synchronized voices. Mm-hmm. And I sort of decide my sense of self-preservation goes, be quiet. And I just halt at the top of the stairs.
In which case, Mrs. Linwood, Rosemary, she comes into the dining room with, these platters and things, and Jeremiah's helping her, and they open it all out, and there's food and soup, or whatever, and all the Lester Goodmans start eating, and Augustus is eating, Veronica's eating, and but for Cub and Zachary, you look and they're all eating rotten food and rats.
Yeah.
And then you look again and it's all back to lovely food again.
Oh God, is that
shit
a sanity roll? Mind you, I've seen the rotten food already.
You have, but it is the fact that it transformed in front of your eyes and then back again requires the sanity roll, unfortunately.
I've passed my sanity roll.
Excellent.
It's my it's my self-defense is working.
I'll see if is this my lucky die? Oh, it isn't, but now I'm changing it out so I could change everything. That is an 87 on a 43. I have failed my sanity check, Doctor.
So you lose a point of sanity.
Bingo!
That's the one, isn't it?
That's the one!
So let's see what happens. So you've gone indefinitely insane.
I was so close, man. I was so close. I've got these fucking books under my arm as well.
Oh dear.
I've done really badly with some rolls.
I think we all have on this.
Oh, good.
Oh dear. He says, oh good. That's not what you want to hear. Do you want to hear Dom say, oh good?
No.
It's the last thing we want.
I feel like we're looking at our first ever total party wipeout, guys.
Oh, yeah.
We've said that before.
Yeah.
Speak yourself.
We have. Yeah, I like to think Cub's going to make it out.
Self-preservation. I think he'll still be talking in 6 months in an empty room full of rotten fruit and dead corpses. And then eventually the walls will crumble.
Well, he'd be talking in 6 months, but that should be in 2,000 years, and he'll still be desiccated, chatting away to...
You've developed phasmomania, an obsession with ghosts. And it occurs to you in this moment, Zachary, of course, the only obvious explanation. These are ghosts.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. Eureka! And I...
As you're saying this, apropos of nothing,
Oh, yeah.
everyone turns and looks at you.
I think so what have I got in my hand? I've got... I managed to stow the gun in my pocket, my bulging pockets. So I think I take the books out from under my arm and I wave them and I go, "Of course! You're all dead! It makes so much sense!"
Of course.
And then I put the books in front of Cubby. And I say...
All of the Lester Goodmans look at the books.
"I bet it's here. I bet it's... Look, they're all looking at it. What's the other side like?"
Oh, Christ.
They all
How
look
big
at you.
are the books?
You what you say?
How big are the books?
One's an octavo volume, kind of thick, and then the other one's small and like slender.
Yeah, go on.
I pat my hand on the books and I say, "Well, look here, these are some fine books. I tell you, these people around this table, Mr. Crumb, these are antiques dealers. They might be able to value these books that you brought with you. You may know we are Bible salesmen, but we do deal in antiquities and rare first editions." And as I'm patting the books, I pick up the smaller volume and try and slip it into a pocket or up my sleeve.
Give me a sleight of hand roll.
And I fail.
I was going to argue I might be able to give him a bonus die here because as he's doing that, I go, "No, it's okay. I'll meld in with them. I'll blend in." And I pull one of the presumably white tablecloths. I pull the white tablecloth off and I throw it over my head and I go, "Ooh, I'm one of you now. We're all ghosts together. I'm Lester Goodman."
Is it? Please do like either a luck or sleight of hand to see if he perfectly pulls it out from all of them.
Give me a sleight of hand roll.
Wrong way around.
Because imagine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All the ghosts are like, "Yeah, fair play."
Oh my God, I've done really well. It's a 13 on a 33. It's a hard success.
Oh my God.
You whip the sheet from under everything. Everything stays exactly where it is. So impressive.
I am almost speechless. If I was anyone other than Cubby, I'd be speechless. I might temporarily pause, freeze. But has he bought me a bonus die?
Yeah.
Thank
For
you.
sure.
That's amazing.
Great. Well, that's a hard success on my sleight of hand.
So just the old switcheroo, it works perfectly. And if anything, Cubby, you're probably feel a bit upstaged.
I do. I think I'm humbled a bit. So I've managed to slip the small volume like up my sleeve into a hidden inside pocket in my jacket.
How big are you up the sleeve? That's amazing.
It's the small volume. It's the little pamphlet.
True, it's the smaller one.
And I'm enormous.
At that point, Augustus stands up and he's leading a toast. And he says, ding, 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 ding. He says, "Well, it's so good to have so many people here to wish my beautiful daughter, Veronica, luck on her exciting and formidable attempt undergoing the Abramelin
Lester
operation."
Goodman. Is it okay to,
Yes,
is it okay to say that I run headlong into something? Because I feel for this scene I need to shut me up. Since I've already run into one French window, I will run into a stable object of your choosing, including Cubby.
I tell you what, give me a luck roll.
God, don't let him run away. No, that's a heavy fail. That's a 91.
A 91.
Yeah, so it's not a fumble, but it's a bad fail.
You bang into a sideboard that runs along the east wall.
Cyborg.
And you lose a hit point.
Oh, God, another one.
Well, he concludes the toast, and all of the Lester Goodmans raise their glasses as well and cheers. And as they cheers, the lights all go out and you're plunged into darkness.
Fuck my life.
What was the toast to?
To Veronica doing the Abramelin operation.
Sorry.
And then a moment later, the lights come back on. And the Lester Goodmans are gone. Augustus turns to Rosemary and says, "Oh, my dear, delicious dinner, delicious as ever." And then he sort of gets up and dusts himself down and starts waddling out of the room as Rosemary and Jeremiah start cleaning up the table.
I just call over to him. Augustus, may I also propose a toast?
Oh, of course.
And I start wandering round towards him with my glass in the air and start saying, "I would like to propose a toast to the finest and most generous family I have ever seen in the north of this country. This reception we have received, this welcome, is worthy of a southern belle and her parents on a going out party. This is quite the reception, and we have been made to feel so welcome. I cannot thank you enough." And I'd like to get as close to him as I possibly can, and then press my gun into the small of his back if I can.
Oh.
And I will say, "Do not be alarmed. I'm just pleased to see you." No, I will say, "I think you know precisely what I have here."
What's going on?
Would you like to escort my friends and I out of your house?
Why, of course. That's no bother. Follow me. And he starts walking towards the front door.
But I'm holding him. Yes.
So very quickly, Zachary, as you bang into the sideboard, there's something you notice about it. In fact, no, maybe a spot hidden's required. Let's have a spot hidden roll.
Yes, I passed that. Well, actually, no, fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to spend some luck actually. 'Cause, sorry, I thought it was a 6, but it's a 9. So,
okay. But you're spending the luck.
I'm gonna spend. That's a lot of luck. Spot hidden. I feel like this is worth it. So I'm gonna spend the 5 luck to pass that. Yes.
You notice the sideboard, as you're sort of examining what you've bumped into, you notice that it's unusual in that it doesn't have much on it. It seems like it's probably empty, except there is a small figurine on the sideboard. It's a small statuette of an ox. It's a little unusual because it's facing the wall. It just stands out to you as you look at this mostly empty sideboard as being rather unusual. It even has a little doily underneath it. Looks like it's been placed very specifically. While you contemplate that, and while Clarence is goose marching Augustus the door, what's Remy been up to this whole time?
So as soon as the lights go off, because I stopped myself at the top of the stairwell, and I heard their voices, and as soon as the lights go off, I bolt back through the toilet to the front balcony, and if it seems like I can hit the roof off the front balcony, I want to jump.
It's bricked up.
Yeah, it's bricked up, unfortunately.
Well, we hadn't been through there yet, right? Like, I know that, like, the majority of the house is bricked up, but it is, right?
Yeah. So when you run through to the oratory, it's all bricked up.
Okay. In which case, I march back through to the landing, pick up the spike, and move down the stairs. Although it feels like quite a bit of time has passed since I've done anything, so maybe I stealthily go down the stairs just to buy a bit of time for the narrative. I'm not sure. I mean, basically my instinct is something is keeping us in here, and I'm going to kill whatever that is. So I tuck the spike under my right arm, and I have the chisel in my left hand, studying it. And I come downstairs. But at what point am I going to arrive downstairs?
Well, for expediency's sake, let's say that you've loitered at the foot of the stairs just as you see Cub, with Augustus sort of marching him to the front door.
Yeah.
And Augustus gets to the front door and he says, "Well, I'm very sorry if we've offended you in any way, but of course you're free to leave whenever. Did Jeremiah find you any gasoline?"
He did not, but we found many things within this house which I hope we do not come across again. I don't know what sort of experiment you and your daughter are up to within these walls, but ghostly figures, doppelgangers.
Doppelgangers?
I think it'd be fair to say that at this moment, Clarence, at least, facing him at the door, would see me marching towards them both with a big pike. Just letting you know.
God.
What on earth do you mean, doppelgangers?
Lester Goodman.
What about him?
Well, can I do a psychology roll? See whether looks like he's sort of pretending. That's 1 point of luck makes that an extreme success on my psychology.
Oh, hello.
With an extreme success on psychology, it's like, yeah, he doesn't see anything weird about. You get the impression that he really believes there was one Lester Goodman, but with an extreme, there's a suggestion that there's something else that perhaps even he isn't aware of. And if he could just be made to understand. What do you mean, Lester Goodman? Did he offend you?
He himself was perfectly charming, but how many places were laid for dinner this evening?
Oh, well, there was myself and Veronica. We laid places for you three, and then Lester Goodman and 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 Lester Goodman.
Do I hear this again?
I grab his head in my hands and I say, Do you see what terrible things you are conjuring within your walls?"
And then, as you say that, he grabs hold of your head, and it's like a veil has lifted, because he talks slightly differently, and his eyes aren't as glazed over somehow. He looks at you with this piercing gaze, and he says, "Oh my God, you're right. You're right. What have we done? Oh my God." And he runs to the front door and pulls back the sort of the curtain over the front door, and it's bricked up. And he says, "Oh my God, we're trapped. They've done it. He's done it. It's done it. And now you're trapped too. But there may be a way. Yes, there may be a way out. Listen to me. You can't believe anything you see. It's a trick, you see. It's a trick to keep us trapped in here so he can torture us over and over again. But there may be a way out if you act quickly. I run at the brick wall.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be... I mean, just to be fair, I've been waiting quite a while, approaching with this thing. Mm-hmm. And if all I'm hearing is him saying, "Lester Goodman, a Lester Goodman, a Lester Goodman," all I think is, this is another fucking demon or something, and I just want to run forwards and skewer him.
Okay, so he says, "Listen to me carefully. There's only one way out of this," and then this spear comes through him.
Of course.
Straight through his neck.
Yeah. It would be up through the back of the neck and out through the mouth, if anything.
And he just goes, and then falls down dead.
This was an Apocalypse Players production. For more information about the podcast, go to apocalypseplayers.com. Thanks for listening.